empty sometimes. Well, alright, maybe all of the time. I'm on a false seagull trip, well, I'm a renegade of sorts. I roam the concrete jungle hunting idiots for sport and now the cocaine scene.
Lovely. Right. Ethan Reid, how you doing this evening, fella?
I'm good. Just been kind of relaxing after yesterday. Obviously, it was a tough weekend, so...
Yeah, tough game to take. What's your thoughts on the weekend?
To be honest, I think we came up against a good goalie. The first two periods on Saturday were good. We had a bit of a kind of blip for 5 minutes on the third period, and it kind of cost us kind of going into second. And then on Sunday, I think we played really well and again came up against a hot goalie, and it was tough to score, which is what we needed to do on Sunday pretty much. So yeah, tough weekend overall, really.
Yeah, I was looking through. I was just writing up my match reports and the stuff, and looking through all the stats. The power plays just seemed vital because they scored on a couple of theirs and scored on a couple of ours as well. So it was.
Yeah, I think when you get the opportunities, like you said, like that's the moments that you kind of need to put it away and capitalise. And obviously, we got quite a lot of power plays that we just couldn't do that on. So I think, that was probably a key factor over the weekend and how it played out. But
yeah, they were defensively very, very solid last night at the Riverside.
Yeah.
But so after a great season with the Chieftains last season, finishing playoff runners up, you stepped up to the national level to join the Raiders, and then halfway through the year come back. So talk us through the move and the move back.
Well, to be honest with you, my goal was always to come down here and to play at the highest level I possibly could. And I felt that at the end of last year, after having a good year, that I could take the step up. Romford, I thought, was the right place for that. And to be honest with you, it was, because I got a good idea of what that level was like, what it'd be like living with teammates. And then coming back to Chelmsford, I think it was more of a personal thing, because I was getting pretty homesick at Romford, and obviously I know Grant, and he offered me to stay with him, and that was kind of like a move that I felt I couldn't knock back pretty much.
Yeah.
So it's kind of worked out well for me. I've got work here, and I'm just enjoying kind of the area that I'm in, and I'm comfortable with it, like I was last season, obviously experiencing Chelmsford. Now I'm only 20 minutes down the road in Brentwood, so it's kind of similar in that sense.
Yeah, no, I know that everyone was thrilled that you came back. It was one of the players we were really sorry to see go at the end of the last. One of my most memorable moments with you was January last year. You were called up to the England under-23s. Now, we won't beat around the bush. Anyone who's listening can see here you are not English. So what was the crack with that?
To be fair, I had the exact same thought. I went there thinking to myself, why am I getting asked to play for the England under-23s? The training camp was good. Obviously, I made the team, and then it came to me that you couldn't play for England when you're Scottish, which I already knew that. So obviously that was a tough phone call to hear 4 days before the game, but it was understandable. Do you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to be giving a Scottish guy a spot in an English team when there's plenty of other English defensemen that could have played in that team and did at the end up. So I think it just kind of worked out that way, to be honest. Yeah,
because obviously Kieran was selected as well, wasn't he? But he's half and half, should we say?
Well, I think he's played juniors in England, so that worked out, like that he could play for the England team in that way.
Yeah.
But obviously, I played all my junior career in Scotland, played seniors in Scotland, and then just moved here 2 years ago. So I'm Scottish, you know what I mean? So I've got no English in me.
So where did it start for you in Scotland then? Was it all Glasgow?
Well, I started off just going public skating when I was 7 or 8, and then I seen like a poster for the Clan Games in their first season when they got founded in 2010, I think it was, and there was like a kind of like learn to play session in Braehead called the Pee-wees. So I done that for a year, and then when I was 9 or 10 I started playing competitively at North Ayr. Moved to Murrayfield when I was 14, and then stayed at Murrayfield for 4 years, played 2 years seniors there, and then COVID hit, and that kind of stopped me playing from 17 to 19, I think, and then moved to Chelmsford from there pretty much.
And you said it was always your ambition to come down to England and play as high
Well,
as you can.
my ambition was always to go and play away from home. Like that was always the ambition, whether it was Canada, America. But when I was younger, obviously the offers I got from Canada and America, they just weren't financially possible. So from there, I knew that my next option would be to come down and play in England somewhere. And it just so happened that it's in a good place in London, which I've got to experience London. It's the first time I've kind of been in London in general, never mind hockey. So
Yeah,
it was always my ambition to come and play away from home and experience living on my own and getting a bit of not stableness, but like experience life without relying on parents and stuff like that.
yeah, but I mean, even at the top level in England, it's very difficult to make a really good living, isn't it, out of this sport? But it's yeah, certainly if you found somewhere that you're comfortable staying and you've got yourself some work and playing hockey at the same time, that's certainly going to make life a little bit easier for you. You do go back up quite often, though, don't you? I often see you at Stansted Airport and popping back up.
I do. I'm a mum's boy, so I get pretty homesick. So at any opportunity I get to go home, I take it, and it's nice because the flights are cheap and EasyJet, so it's no breaking the bank or anything like that to go home. It works well for me, and it keeps me mentally focused and not homesick, thinking about other things when it comes to game days and stuff like that. So it works out perfect, really.
Yeah. What sort of success did you have in junior hockey at Scotland?
Well, I've always played in good teams, but we've been pretty unlucky that there's good kind of junior setups in Scotland, like Fife and Solway and stuff like that. But I think when I was under 12s at North Ayr, we won the league at under 12s, under 14s, and under 16s. And then moving to Murrayfields, we won the Scottish Cup in under 16s and got runners up, I think, 3 years in a row to Fife. And as I said, Fife are one of the best junior setups in Britain, never mind Scotland. So it's a tough league when you've got that up against you. But yeah, we were pretty successful from the kind of opportunities that we got in the Scottish Cup and league and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's. Did you manage to get watch any of the Elite League up there when Glasgow had been in there?
Yeah, I was a season ticket holder all the way up until I started playing like games at the same time as the clan. I watched the first game against Whitley Bay or Hull, I think it was, and then season ticket holder for 5-6 years, I think. And then obviously I started playing games, so I couldn't make it anymore. But when I'm up there, I try and get to as many games as possible, and I enjoy watching Clan. That is my team. So yeah.
Yeah, they've certainly got a really good fan following, and online particularly, they're very, very vocal and very, very proud of where they're from.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is great, and it's good to see. Was it 3 Scottish teams in that Elite League now? So it's certainly getting its representation.
Yeah. But Edinburgh was in the league, I think, 4 years ago, and they folded. But yeah, the 3 teams that are in the league represent Scotland well, I would say. The fan bases there, the 3 teams, Fife, Dundee, and Clan, are unreal. So yeah.
And Fife made the Challenge Cup final this year as well, didn't they?
They did. I actually watched the game against Sheffield in the semi-final, I think it was. It was a good game. It's always entertaining to see Fife play. I loved going to the derbies and the Clan Fife games. Some of the best games I've watched, to be honest.
Yeah. How does that rivalry kind of set up between like the Romford and Chelmsford one?
I don't know. It's hard to say because in that league there's so many imports that maybe the first few games they play against each other, they don't understand it as much. But then once it gets to like the final few games, they kind of understand like how much it means to the fans. But here, obviously, it's a lot of English-based players that have grew up watching it, so yeah, they know the rivalry before they even stepped on the ice to play the first game. Coming to Chelmsford, sorry, like the first Romford game I played I think it was packed out, and it's good. Obviously, it's not Chelmsford against the first team, but even playing against the second team, it's still unreal.
Yeah, I think obviously when we go to the Sapphire to play the second team, it's generally not as full as it would be for the firsts. But when they come to us, because obviously we're the first team in Chelmsford, it's always rowdy for that game. They bring a great following down. We've always got a great following in. I think that's something we could probably say from last night actually as well. Is I think the fans were tremendous last night. Yeah. Really, really loud, getting behind the lads, and yeah, unfortunately, it couldn't quite push it through. I've got a few questions for some of the listeners here. If that's all right, mate, for you.
Yeah, go for it.
With Sophia Gatland, the sign girl, has asked, "What is your favourite thing to get from the fish and chip shop?" Which I said to was a brilliant question to ask a Scotsman.
Well, I've got a few orders. I'll give you my top two. When I'm in Scotland, to do like a deep fried pizza, just basically pizza and batter.
Oh my days!
I like that. A bit of brown sauce in that. I like that. And also another weird thing I get that my dad actually showed me is I get a battered sausage, cut it in half, put it in a roll, and then put curry sauce in it, and it's unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I'm not really down for curry sauce. My missus is from sort of halfway up north, so she'll have curry sauce on anything. But deep fried pizza, I'm down for that.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think it's just anything in Scotland that you put in a fish and chip shop is getting deep fried. So pizza is just unbelievable. I think it's probably the best thing I've tried is deep fried.
On the food theme, still, Ollie Bennett has asked, "Do you have a pre-game meal?"
I don't have a pre-game meal though, but I kind of stick to timings during a game day. Like if I think I normally have food around 1 o'clock. I like a bit of salmon before a game, but like I'm not too picky about what I eat. It can be salmon, chicken, bit of red meat, whatever.
But generally mixing it up with a little bit of protein, a little bit of carbohydrate, just to.
Yeah. It's just timings really. Like I'm no superstitious or anything like that. So just as long as I go to a game and I'm feeling good, it doesn't really matter what I eat, to be honest.
So you haven't got any sort of superstitious rituals or anything like that you do?
I mean, I say that, but like I'm going off based on what I've seen guys do. Like some of the stuff I've seen guys do is ridiculous, but like for me, it's just like I put my right skate on before my left, and I think that's just kind of comes like unconsciously for me. Really, I would do that anyway.
Yeah.
But superstitions, nah, I'm not big into that, to be honest.
Well, Matty Turner is on this episode a little later on, and I've been told by everyone he is the king of the rituals and the superstitions.
You'll have about half an hour podcast just talking about
that. Got a question from Daisy Arbon. Is there a reason behind your number 43?
Well, when I was at Murrayfield for my first senior year, I asked for the number 3, which I've kind of used in juniors and stuff like that, and the number 26 because my favourite player is Rasmus Dahlin. And when I walked in and see my jersey, the number 43 was pretty random, and it was actually funny because no other player on the team was 3 or 26. So I was baffled at that decision, but then I played well that year, and then I just stuck with it. Really, I don't really like to change up numbers or anything like that too much. But yeah, it chose me, I like to say.
Yeah. That's quite funny because you wouldn't have got 3 or 26 when you arrived at the Chieftains, would you?
No, I know exactly. So it worked out pretty well. It did work out well.
So I'm assuming there's going to be a story to this question because it's come from your compatriot Kieran Rayner. Do you love Patsy?
No, it's just one of my friends. It's not really a big story like that. It's a touchy subject.
Oh, is it?
I'll just say that.
And also got a question from Kieran's Mama Rayner, Elizabeth. Apart from your family, obviously, what do you miss most about your beautiful homeland of Scotland?
I think it's I quite like to go out and do a lot of stuff and I wouldn't say nature, but hill walk and stuff like that. There's nice lakes in Scotland, but here it's mostly kind of city life. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in Glasgow you can kind of escape from that and go to a loch and do activities there, go hill walking. You can kind of switch it up more than you can here, I would say. So I would say that definitely.
Is it a little bit warmer here though?
Oh, it's much warmer here in Scotland. It's not even the wet, the temperature in Scotland that bothers me. It's just how much it rains. You step off the plane and it's bucketing of rain, and it's no nice. Just say that even in summertime, it's bucketing down of rain. So that's the only difference I'd say.
Last season, I remember you getting quite a nasty facial injury.
Yeah.
But that all seems to have cleared up now. It's gone quite good. Was that a puck?
It's just right there.
Yeah.
I got hit in the face with a puck, and I didn't think much of it. I actually played the next day, and then like it started to get a bit painful, and I went to the doctors and got an X-ray, and I think I broke my orbital bone and my jaw. But like I was quite lucky, to be honest, because I think it was maybe 5-6 weeks until the end of the season, and like it was kind of borderline having to get an operation, but the bone was like still straight. So the doctor said I didn't have to get an operation, which allowed me to play the rest of the season, or else that would be my season done. But I seem to have quite a bad track record of getting hit in the face, just in general. So I might need to switch to a cage soon. I'm thinking about it, seriously thinking about it.
Yeah, certainly there's no shame in it anymore, is there, going for the cage? Because it's
No.
I mean, poor TJ having to go to work with that beautiful shiner and cut he's got from the weekend.
No, he's the exact same as me. He gets hit in the face every second week, if not every week. So I think we might need to make the switch together.
Yeah, he needs to give me the number of his dentist. I think he managed to get a tooth sorted for 60 quid in the space of 2 days.
I know. If I lose my teeth, my mum would kill me. So I don't think I'd need to worry about the dentist then.
Is it part of your? I'm assuming, obviously, working and then playing this sport. Have you got some sort of personal insurance for injuries?
I think the EIHA insure you at the start of the year, but you can get like personal insurance that covers you for like a weekly wage. But I've not looked into that too much. But
yeah, because I was thinking must have been the only way that TJ managed to get a tooth done for 60 quid.
Yeah, I think speaking to guys that have been injured for long term in the past, they've been covered by the EIHA. But like I said, I'm not 100% sure. I think you can get like personal insurance that covers you out with the EIHA. So
yeah,
it's something to look into.
Yeah, it's certainly a dangerous sport, isn't it? So I remember talking to you down in Solent not long after you'd done the injury, and your eye was bled, didn't it, into your eyeball?
Yeah, I got quite lucky, I'd say, because it was so close to my eye and then so close to my teeth as well. I think it's not the best case scenario, but like it definitely wasn't the worst for what had actually happened.
Is that probably the worst one you've had since you've been playing?
To be honest, it's different from breaking a bone. Obviously, I did break my orbital in my jaw, but like if you break your ankle and stuff like that, then I think long term the recovery for that is brutal. And I dislocated my knee, I think 4 or 5 years ago, and like it took a long time to build the strength and stuff back up. I'd say that's probably worse than my face, just because of the long term kind of effects that it had.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's the only one that's left a scar, so it's the worst one.
Long term in the game, then, do you see yourself going into coaching?
I don't know. It just depends what age, because I don't think I could deal with kids. I've done sports coaching at college, and we've done some placements in primary schools and stuff like that, and dealing with kids just isn't my thing. I don't have the patience for them. But I think adults that you can kind of like level with and stuff like that, I would be interested in getting into that, but maybe not now. Maybe near the end of my career, I would say I would be more interested in doing something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll say you're still young, aren't you? You've got quite a long way to go yet, hopefully.
Yeah.
So building up to the playoffs, then obviously we've had the cup final. Are the lads feeling more confident about the playoff final? Maybe I said in my report that possibly the hurt that we all saw in your guys' faces is a bullet in the chamber for this weekend.
Yeah. I think the performance on Sundays definitely gave us more confidence going into the playoffs. Like, all the guys know that we played well. Obviously, we couldn't get the result, but the performance was there, and we know that they were on the back foot most of the game, and we can do that next weekend. So I think the biggest thing this week is just trying to forget about the cup final and like laying a new slate and like just focusing on the 2 training sessions and then take it game by game, and just like no seeing how it goes, but like keeping the plan in mind pretty much.
Yeah, it's as you say, getting that cup final out of the system.
Yeah.
And going on to the playoffs, sort of clean slate. Well, Ethan Reid, thank you so much for joining me on Zero Pucks Given, mate. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you. I said I'd almost forgotten to do you because we talk quite regularly online. I thought we'd already done it. So
No, that's all good, mate. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate
No, mate,
it.
you're more than welcome. As I said, the Chieftain fans were all thrilled that you came back, and we hope that we see you in the black and gold for many years to come.
Thank you, mate.
Good man. Cheers, Ethan.
Bye. Bye.